Hi, this is Saucy J here, back with another Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 11, Episode 6 recap and review. Actually, I'm going to do my best to do 4, 5, and 6 in one and hopefully get it done in time. Because I'm sorry, you guys, I had some issues with my video for Episode 4, which was overexposed, and it was so good, and then it just cut off on me, and anyway, so I didn't get back to it. And 5, I just enjoyed watching it myself, and 6, I enjoyed it, and I said, you know what, let me get back at it, because you're trying to do your channel, you got to stay constant and consistent. So just bear with me, you guys, and those of you who have continued to come back and watch my videos, thank you so much. Welcome back. If you're watching me again, thank you so much. If you're new here, welcome. I do need for you guys to do, I think 4 or 5 things, the usual drill. Hit the like button. That helps me with the algorithm and exposes my video out there to the YouTube universe. Hit the subscribe button. Please make sure you subscribe. And also hit the notification button so you can be made aware of all my new content. And leave a comment. Leave me some feedback. That's always great. And it helps me, grow in terms of views and stuff like that. As well as hit the share button. If you have a Facebook page or Instagram, please share my videos so I can get more traffic to my channel. Okay, so that's enough. And that's all free. And all it takes is like that. So, thank you if you do it. And if you don't, you just want to enjoy the video, that's cool too. Thanks for stopping by and watching my take on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 11, 4, 5, and 6 episode. We'll see if we can get that done. Okay. So, I got to look at my notes, and I can't really go back to 4 because that's like so old news. But what was going on in that one? Other than the fashions have been great, but yeah, so Sutton and I should remember Crystal, because Crystal is my girl. Sutton and Crystal still going at it about basically how Sutton just knocked on the door and went in the room without waiting for Crystal to say, come in. She just kind of like barged in her room, even though she knocked, and announced herself. As we all found out, Crystal was in a state of undress. So, and she dropped to the floor to hide herself. And Sutton, being socially awkward, said, I don't know what you're doing in here, but here's your coat. So, yeah, if I was Crystal and I'm already not feeling you, I would take that as a slight. It was... Yeah, do you tell somebody that? Like, I don't know what you're doing. What do you mean? She's in her room. They've had a long day. She's getting undressed, probably getting ready for bed. What does she mean? I don't know what you're doing in here. So, I don't know. That would kind of tick me off, too. Like, girl, I don't even like you. And you bugging me about a coat. That coat could have stayed out there in the living room or wherever it was. But, Sutton thought she was doing the right thing. So, that's pretty much it in 4. I mean, it was a lot of going back about that. So it might have been, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Well, that's what it's going to be. That's pretty much 4. Then, at the tail end of it, so as they're wrapping up the end of episode 4, we see that Erika makes the announcement after they all get back to LA, or the Beverly Hills area, that she's going to divorce Tom, her husband. And it was like big news. Or did she? Did she do it? Yeah, she did. And so we start episode 5, and it's called The Divided States of Erika. So in this episode, Kyle invites everybody over to her house for election night, and like an election party, watching the election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. As we all know, thank goodness, Joe Biden won, and we have our first female vice president who happens to be black and Asian. So she's like a trifecta. We got a woman, we got someone that is of African heritage, and someone that is Asian heritage as well. So kudos for women. I think it's long overdue, especially since America is this beacon of freedom and democracy. We've seen other countries, dictatorships and stuff are, ran by women, but for some reason America, is really lasting that, which is truly amazing for this country that's supposed to be about freedom and equality. You'd think we'd at least had a female vice president by now. We would be working on getting a female president. Look at England, a queen. They've had female prime ministers. They've had, I think even the president of Sierra Leone is female. It's like, come on, America, get with it. Like, what's taking us so long to have females, women at the top? But anyway, so we haven't got there yet. As a matter of fact, that night they couldn't announce the election results because they were still counting all the votes. But the theme of Kyle's party and Kyle's house is so beautiful. I don't too much care for Kyle, but I'm loving that bar and then that gold couch, the velour on that couch. I think in like her maybe formal living room or den area. It was really beautiful. So the theme of Kyle's party was the election night. Everybody was supposed to wear red, white, and blue. They discussed, so people show up. So yeah, should I go over the fashions? Yeah, I mean, Beverly Hills is bringing the fashions, so I should go over the fashions. Let me see. So, Kyle's dress was cute. Her dress was blue with white little dots and red shoes. Very apropos for Kyle. What's her name? Sutton. Although she's wearing all the haute couture, it's like it's wearing her. But I love the dress. Just maybe not on her. She's growing on me, but she wear all those fabulous clothes and they really don't look good on her. I don't know why. Let's see. Crystal, she's dressing too old. It's like, I know next season she's going to whip out the real fashions. And I know she's dressing more conservative because of her husband. I believe there's like at least 20 years. I think they're 20 years, if not more, apart. Because Crystal is only, it's got to be, that man is not 49. He's probably way more older than her. Because Crystal is 29 years old. You would never know it. The way she dresses, the way she carries herself, her clothes are too old. But anyway, she comes over in a navy blue blazer. I think she might have had on jeans and a top and red shoes. And her husband, he was dressed really nice. I like what he had on. A nice blazer that was blue, and I can't remember, he had on slacks, but he kept up with the theme. They kept up with the theme of red, white, and blue. We see Dorit getting dressed to go to Kyle's thing, and she looks like she's going to an Irish parade, just like her husband said. She is Barbie, or I meant to look up, and I should know this because I was such a Barbie doll lover. But what was Barbie's friend? PJ? Not Portia's little girl, but I believe that was her name. She looks like that. She don't look like a Barbie to me. She looks like Barbie's friend, and I don't know where Dorit is going with her sense of fashions. I mean, yeah, they might be expensive and they might have all the labels, but she's going back downhill, and I think that's because Erika's going downhill, and whereas she stepped up her game for Erika, and by Erika's, her everything is off for Erika, and we know why. Dorit's fashion, she just want to be like, hey, I got on, Gucci, I got on Fendi, I got on Louis Vuitton. It's like, girl, you're not a kid. Why are you dressing like that? But anyway, she puts on this green, like a chartreuse green plaid blazer, a matching pleated skirt, and she got the cross bag, and it's like, oh, with a headband. Like, no. No. Dorit, no. And no. Maybe if you were 20 or 29, Crystal's age, yeah. But no. And the theme of the party was red, blue, and white. Why are you going like the Irish flag? I don't know. I love what, this is me. I love a good tracksuit. I love what Lisa Rinna had on. I thought it was cute. She was also looking like a Barbie as well, but she was actually looking like Barbie. And I love that tracksuit. It was blue and sparkly. I thought it was cute. Let me see who else. Kathy Hilton. She was okay, you know. So that was pretty much it. And they talked about, nobody knew the divorce was coming. They were all shocked about the divorce announcement. People haven't really been able to catch up with Erika. Erika said she wasn't going to be able to make it to Kyle's to Kyle's house for the election night party, but you know, so she didn't show up. Garcelle didn't show up because she wanted to stay at home with her boys and watch the historical election of a biracial Black and Asian ablation. I think that's what they're calling people of that descent. Win the first female vice presidency. So she was watching it at home with her boys. So she didn't show up. So everybody's talking. The girls go one way, the husbands go another way, and so all of the women are sitting out, like I guess in Kyle's pool house, and you know, some kind of way to get on the. Did they talk about the? Yeah, they talked about Crystal. Crystal admits that she suffers from bulimia because she said that when she got back from the trip, she noticed that she had lost 5 pounds. Well, we could just say when she didn't eat that night because Sutton upset her so that she didn't even want to have dinner. Even though they had made up and apologized, Sutton was still like, not Sutton, Crystal was still like a little bit upset. So she didn't eat dinner. You know, so that was probably the 5 pounds that she was missing because she didn't eat dinner and didn't look like she was eating too much before dinner. So, but anyway, she attributes that she was hoping that the stress of the trip and other things going on with her meeting of these women is not causing her to have some type of bulimic relapse. And she explains how she got into bulimia and all that stuff. So that was like, wow, you know, to go on nationwide TV and admit to something like that and admit that you have been dealing with that and your mother doesn't know. And from the conversation she had with her husband, he didn't know either. And it's like, why you wait till now to bring out this out? Like, why? And I'm trying to figure out, like, why are you doing this show? Are you going to be headed for divorce court soon? Like, how? Because your husband seems like he seems very nice, but I don't know, like, how did she convince this man? And he's, like, up there, like, he is, I think, an A-list person in Hollywood, because he's done a lot of famous anime or cartoon movies, you know, because it's obvious. Because we're going to see something later on that tells you that Crystal, she got the bag. But she better watch out because it looked like somebody is zeroing in on her husband. So, you know, so they're all talking about, so then Kyle shares about her bouts of anorexia. And then Bravo, being shady, is letting Lisa Rinna and her so you know what, I'm going to be done trying to say that word. In her interviews, her side interviews, they let her narrate everything and talk about how her daughter suffers from bulimia and how Kyle shared her anorexia, and it was so good that Crystal opened up about her bulimia. And it's like, girl, when are you going to open up about your anorexia? Like, you know, so I thought that was kind of shady that they, you know, tell the one person that you hardly see her eating, and she's bone thin, she's like a rail, you know, but she swears up and down that she eats, and she's just naturally that skinny, you know. that she's not an anorexic, she doesn't suffer from anorexia or bulimia. So I thought that was kind of shady on Bravo's part. So then while they're all talking about that, Kyle and Dorit go off and they have this discussion about their little mix-up, their little feud right now. And to me, it seems like it's kind of made up. But anyway, supposedly Dorit's long-winded and Kyle always cuts her off, and so they, hash it out. But the husbands talk about how both their wives talk so much that PK was able to take Mauricio's phone, which is Mauricio's the husband of Kyle, and put the two phones together, and they put it like in a vase or a plant thing. And the women were so busy talking that they didn't realize that their husbands weren't even on the phone paying them any attention. So I thought that was pretty funny. I think sometimes they should let the husbands have a show, because the husbands are pretty funny. And I like seeing how men interact as opposed to women. It's kind of funny. And it's funny watching Crystal's husband trying to fit in with these men that he probably wouldn't normally have anything to do with. So that's pretty entertaining. So Dorit and Kyle, it looks like they're gonna make up, but then they don't. Dorit's like tired of talking about it. She's doing her best Erika Jayne impression about like, okay, we're good. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We're good. And so even Kyle's like, okay, is this Erika or is this Dorit? So anyway, what's her name? She's like, no, we're good, and I'm gonna leave now. Well, if we're good, why don't you stay to eat? You guys came all the way over here, drove all the way over here. At least get something to eat and then leave. She's like, no, I want to go home to see my kids. And my parents are in town, and I'm, no, we're not eating. We're getting ready to go. So we even see that PK tells Dorit in the car, like, that's rude, to come all the way over to somebody's house, don't eat, It's like, why would you do that? And nothing that they argued about was worth that, but she just was ready to go, ready to end the conversation and go. So then we see in the next scene of importance, because I'm trying to get it down, I'm trying to keep it short and sweet, that Sutton buys herself a new Bentley. And I'm so glad that Garcelle is rude and gauche, or however she pronounced it, and she asked the car to, and go back. Sutton is so rich right now, because we know a lot of times they flex like this, and then you find out, like we're finding out with Erika, all that glitters is not gold. But Sutton was able, because she's spending so much money with this Bentley dealership, she got them to close down the dealership while she go and pick out which Bentley she wants. And, and for COVID and all that. So they were able to take off their mask while they were in there drooling, especially in the case of Garcelle, over these Bentleys. And that green one was so sharp, but it didn't have the convertible option. But that was, that's a beautiful car. So we find out that the one that Sutton may get is $380,000. But of course, she doesn't, she said that's private. So, hey, Sutton, I'm with you, girl. Do you get you? That's, great, So anyway, Sutton, I think, tells Garcelle she's planning this lunch, and, and they're not sure if Erika's going to show up. And I think, we see another scene where Kathy and Kyle go over to Sutton's little boutique that's been shuttered up, because we know that when all this was filming, you had the pandemic plus all of the Black Lives Matter marches. And so, unfortunately, with those marches, a lot of people took it as an opportunity to vandalize businesses and property. In some cases, it was true, like in terms of just destroying property in order to bring about change. You had other people just using it as an opportunity to steal. So Anyway, she had to shutter up her business to protect the store, and that's why it was all boarded up. And oh my God, her boutique, those clothes in there were so sharp and way expensive. So anyway, she tells Kyle and Kathy she's gonna have a lunch for the girls, like, you know, for them to play like they're in Paris, and everything's gonna be Parisian based. Excuse me, the food. The food, and she's gonna have things if they want to buy anything from her shop. She's gonna have it there. So you know. So then, fast forward. The next day, or the next scene, Kyle goes over to pick up Crystal, and they're gonna go to, as it turns out, Sutton's $35,000 lunch. And that's what Sutton was saying too. She needed to make sure that Erika was going to show up, because she was spending $35,000 on this lunch. Oh my God. I would love to, ooh, I know that food was good. And everybody was saying the food was good, because we're going to get to the one part where I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. That, we're going to get to it. So, but before we get to Sutton's house, Kyle goes over to pick up Crystal, and as she comes in, Kyle spots this $95,000 Hermes purse. $95,000. Okay, Crystal, I see you, girl. But you better hold your man. You better watch your man, because there's a cancer on the scene, and she's getting a divorce and about to lose that station. There's a cancer on the lookout. So, yeah, that's the most important thing. I mean, Kyle couldn't even talk. She was like, wait a minute. Look, we got to talk about this purse right here. $95,000. If I had $95,000 right now, my world would be so great. So anyway, but I can't digress, because I got to keep it moving. So they all leave. And once again, we're going into episode 6, and the name of that episode is The Liberation of Erika Jayne. Oh, the other episode 5 was The Divided States of Erika. You know, Bravo is pissing me off with this tender treatment for Erika, because I've seen them take other housewives through the mud when they're going through something like this. And especially after, was it last season or the season before, they spent so much time on that damn dog to the point where Lisa Vanderpump didn't even come back. They were like, oh, how could I forget Denise Richards, like what they did to her last season, like over nothing. And it seems like they're giving Erika, like, tender treatment. It's like, oh my God. It's like, nah, let's get into it, girl. Let's get into it, because you and your husband, and I knew it. It's just like, everybody thinks people are rich. So many of those people are just a day away from being broke, busted, and disgusted, because it's only so much money. And not so much money, but wealth. You know, you can make money and stuff like that, but do you have wealth? Like Chris Rock said a long time ago, you know, there's a difference between being wealthy and having net money. You know, wealthy is when you pay everybody else. You know, like he said, I think he used the terms of, okay, yeah, the basketball players are rich, but the people that pay the basketball players are wealthy. None of them go broke. You see basketball players like Antoine Walker just, you know, made all that money, and he's broke because he was just giving it to everybody, you know, but he still probably got money because of the pension plan or whatever, you know, the retirement plan that they have, but he don't have nothing like he had when he was worth over $100 million. All that's gone. So anyway, we're going into episode 6. You know, yeah, because, now I'm thinking about, I didn't cover the scene when Erika came over to, whose house it was? Oh no, yeah, we're going into it, episode 6, yeah. Yeah, so The liberation of Erika Jayne. Okay, so we pick up where all the girls are arriving at Sutton's $35,000 lunch. And we see his setup is real nice. All the beautiful clothes, the flowers. She made the house really pretty. Sutton, girl, go ahead while you got the money. I don't know if your husband did well by you, but you know, you acting like he did, because you dropping a lot of money. You dropping so much money. It's like, girl, watch out. Watch out. So Kyle and Rinna end up showing up to Sutton's house wearing the same dress. And no, I'm saying, yeah, Kyle and Lisa Rinna. And that was funny. That was a cute little scene, because supposedly Lisa always ends up dressing like somebody. I'm like, is she a Cancer? I don't know. Then they all discuss Erika's divorce. They can't believe it. And Garcelle was like, you know, I thought she was going to be married to him to the end. You know, the man's so old, like any day now he's going to die. Because I guess they're acting like they hadn't heard rumblings that, you know, Tom Girardi had been swindling his clients out of money. And it's so funny, because I watched that documentary of the survivors and the people. It was that plane that crashed in Ethiopia, and they tried to blame it on the pilot, but really it was a mechanical error on the part of, was it Boeing? And it was some part that they didn't put in the plane or something, allegedly. I can't really remember all the ins and outs, but it was so sad because, excuse me again, these two people back in the U.S. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. These two people, this husband and wife, they lost their daughter who was on the plane, and they really took up the mansard and just went after, you know, Boeing, went after the airlines and everything, you know, and that's how they were able to win that big settlement, because people tried to like shoo him off and really tried to put it on that man. It's a good documentary. I think it's on Netflix. And if it wasn't for this one mother that just would not let it go, she was like, oh no. And she got into it, and that's how they found out it wasn't pilot air. No, it was also the man's family was saying, oh no, he's a good air. You know, they was just trying to say this Ethiopian didn't know how to fly. And then all these other pilots came out and said, oh no, they knew this problem with this plane. Like, for whatever reason, when it tried to go up and catch altitude, it'll just nosedive. And that's what happened. And so many people died. I don't think there were any survivors. I'm not really sure about that, but it was really sad. So Tom Girardi represented some of the victims and the deceased and their estates, and he swindled these people out of the money. So we, you know, when we met Erika, she was flying on her own big private jet. I don't think it was even it was like her own personal plane to perform at concerts. This girl was living larger than life. And, you know, so it's just crazy to see how that was really nothing but smoke and mirrors. This man was, you know, an alleged thief. He's, you know, so many people, and they had been going through stuff before this particular case. His partners or other attorneys were suing him for, I think he owed them money. He took a loan from somebody, and that's when we knew something was up. Because it's like, what, you can't pay back your loan? Like, I thought you guys were rich. So anyway, and Erika had her glam team that she spent $40,000 a month on makeup and maintenance, you know, her appearance and everything. $40,000. It's like, and you can see the difference because she is not looking so good. So anyway, they're all talking about that. So Garcelle being the kind of like, she's like the narrator for us, for the audience, and so she's gonna ask those questions. So it might seem a little tacky, a little rude. So she was like, hey, I thought they were gonna stay together. The man's so old and he's gonna die any day now. But no, Erika's getting divorced. They're all playing like they didn't know. Nobody had any in whatsoever. And so here comes Erika with this dramatic entrance. And she sits down, and the women are like shaking in their heels, you know, because they're, you know, Erika's been bullying them, and nobody's really, you know, want to go in on her just yet. Hopefully they'll snap out of it and remember what they did to Denise Richards and Lisa Vanderpump. So, one thing about Garcelle. Garcelle, I don't know what's going on with you. You said you gained weight, which is understandable. I think we all did. Myself included. Oh boy, I've got to lose weight. Anyway, but that hat and that dress thing, I'm like, come on, girl. Come on. This might have to be a two-parter, because I'm really going to have to get into what happened on episode 6. So, man, you know what? This is just a long one. You guys just have to watch this and come back and watch some more and come back. So, anyway, Erika comes in, makes her presence, and, you know, she tells them, she gives them a good sob story, like, you know, I thought I was going to be holding his hand to the end, but girl, you know, I got to divorce this man because he talking to me all crazy, and I don't know what's going on, so he's treating me real bad, so it looks like we're going to have to get a divorce. So they're like, okay, and they're all acting all understanding and everything. So they go in, and, you know, Crystal, of course, loves Erika's dress. That was sharp. Erika looked like a lady who lunch. She got the memo. So they all go in and see the dining room, and it's filled with all these beautiful flowers and this Parisian-like setting. And, you know, and they begin to eat, and they're all like, ooh, this food is so good. They were actually eating the food, at least the first part. They loved that baked potato. See, that's what I want to get to, the baked potato with the caviar and butter. Oh, I want to try that myself. So anyway, they ate the food, except for dessert. They all kind of like didn't eat that dessert. What a waste of food. And Erika tells them, you know, that she moved out. On the same day she moved out, after, I think she took him to work or whatever, she came back. She drove him to work, right? Came back, moved out same day, and served him with divorce papers the same day. She's renting a little house. And when I say little, but for me, I would love it. The little house she's renting is nice. And it has a swimming pool. It's really nice. But it's nothing in comparison to what she left behind, which was a 16,000 square foot house, a Lamborghini, and like she said, her marriage that was over, I think, 20-something years. So, but she did get herself a new Range Rover, probably a lease. Because it looks like Erika didn't look out for herself. You know, she didn't do like Shani O'Neal and put money to the side. You know, while she was married to that man, she should have bought herself a house, a little cottage, or building something. It's like, it looks like she's going to be brought back down. Like, I mean, after being at the heights, and then she's older now. Like, girl, you should have made this move a long time ago. I think Erika knew what kind of man she was married to. And she claims he pushed her out. She met him when she was a cocktail waitress, so that's why she kind of, you know, she was just so grateful that he basically saved her life, you know, because he took her out of being a cocktail waitress, a single mom with a son. And they're like 33 years apart, and, you know, ever since she married him, she moved into a different world, different cycle. So Erika admits that when she made the announcement that she was trying to hide it in the election news, but that didn't work because everybody knew it was big headlines, because her husband is this big-time attorney, and she's on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So yes, that was gonna, you know, don't nobody want to focus on those crazy elections. That's easier to really drill into, as opposed to the elections that nobody really wanted to pay attention to. And so anyway, she says that she can keep a secret. She's like a vault. That's true for her life anyway. She said she also knows what's coming for her. She didn't think it would end this way, and like I said before, she thought she would be holding his hand until he died, but she knows the people are coming for her. And so she's renting a house that she found online. She stole some furniture. Her word, stole, but then she said, well, it's my furniture, I took it. She just took a couch and 2 chairs. Yeah, because see, she knows everybody's going to be watching everything that she's saying on the show and doing on the show, because that's going to go all into her legal case, because the people are coming after her as well for what Tom stole, allegedly. But Erika also let out that, you know, she's his 3rd wife, so that house is his, that she was living in, like, she don't have nothing but what's hers. And then we see Garcelle, so they go through all that, and so we see Garcelle meets with a dating coach. Why? That's such a, like, anyway, good luck with that. And we see Erika's house. I talked about that. And Crystal and Sutton. So after Sutton has her first mammogram due to Kyle making sure she gets a mammogram, and she passed it. It was fine, which is very good. Excuse me. Kyle tells Sutton, you know, to put a battery in Sutton's back, that Crystal is out there saying that she felt like she was violated by the way, you know, Sutton busted into her room and was like, you know, I don't know what you're doing, but here's your coat. So Kyle's gonna keep that storyline going, and so they know that Crystal has. I'm gonna skip that scene where I think Lisa Rinna goes out with Erika to a place and they have hot toddies, and Lisa Rinna is like tiptoeing around the big elephant in the room, like, you know, just really being understanding, but she wasn't understanding of her friend of over 20 years, Denise Richards. So right now, Lisa Rinna is getting it in social media. Like, the fans are going after her, like, you know, like, how are you going to coddle her, hold her hand, but your real friend, your friend that you were friends with before you got on that show, you just was all over her, you know? You were, like, just all over her and just trying to put out all her business, or what you thought her business was, for a storyline. Because we don't know anything going on in Lisa Rinna's life at all. So anyway, and she's on a reality show. You know, like, really, I don't really care what's going on in her life, but it's like, she has no storyline. What's her storyline? She milked her daughter's bulimia. And what's really going on now, her daughter's dating Scott Disick, and there's like, I think, a 20-year age difference. So, you know, that's crazy. So Crystal invited everybody over to her house, and this is a good part, but as usual, hopefully you've hung in there to get to this part. Crystal invites everybody over to her beautiful house to make dumplings, you know, real authentic Chinese dumplings. And she has her sister and a cousin come over, and they're helping her set up and everything. And so all the women come over. And so this is the part I really want to talk about. Erika, I see you, you know. I'm a Cancer. I don't know if I would do what you just did, but I see you. You trying to go after Crystal's husband. How you going to go over this woman's house that you've never met her husband, you just met her, and you put on hooker heels, hooker boots, you're going back to your roots, hooker boots, and a coat, basically. I know that was supposed to be a mini skirt, but that looked like a coat to me. With no underwear on, and as you say, your nether regions oiled with THC oil. You're lit. Okay, girl. So she goes, you know, go up to the house. Her and I think Lisa Rinna came together to Crystal's house. And Crystal's husband opens the door, is like, whoa, you know. And, you know, so Lisa Rinna makes the introductions and is like, "Oh, you haven't met Erika? No, Erika, did you meet Crystal's husband? I can't remember his name right now. I think his name is Rob or something." And they're like both like, "Oh no, oh no," and Erika's just batting her eyes. I'm like, "Yeah, girl, you saw that $95,000 purse. You not fooling nobody. Hey, Crystal, you don't want another. We can't have another cancer still somebody else's husband. Watch your man, watch your bag, because Erika's gunning for you. Because she wants that life. She want to keep that life. And I just, in one sense, okay, we'll get to my thoughts on that in a moment. So they all go in. Everybody shows up. Oh, Garcelle, come on, girl. Girl, where in the world do you think that outfit was good with your shape? Like, no, just because it's Gucci, that don't mean you buy it. That don't mean you wear that. But anyway, I love her hair though. I love Garcelle's hair. That little short tracksuit. I don't know what that was. No. Come on, Garcelle. You're supposed to be representing us black women. You got to get it together. Go borrow some clothes from Will Smith's wife. That's your good friend. Maybe she got some. She still might have a little money from Will. Come on, you got to get some. You got to get some better clothes, and you got to lose weight. It's no excuse. You're rich or close to being rich. You can get a personal trainer to run you around the block a few times. So, and now, since the Real has been canceled, you got free time, girl. So get it together, because I want to see you. I love you being on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I finally remembered what I was trying to say last time. I hope you still bring like a Dominique Devereaux to Lisa Rinna's Alexis. Remember, I'm dating myself, but I was a kid when this came out. Dynasty, the original Dynasty, and her, that was played by Diane Carroll, and Joan Collins was Alexis. Alexis and Dominique Devereaux. So that's what I want you guys to get to. I want the fashions, I want the attitude, the way you guys can have arguments without beating somebody up, because everybody's old, right? So anyway, they go in, Erika with her vajayjay out, and they make the dumplings, and they all are eating, even Lisa Rinna. So I know those dumplings were good, because they were all shoveling them dumplings in their mouth. And so anyway, we see that they're going to go into talking about Lisa Rinna's daughter dating Scott Disick on the next episode. But to round up this, I feel bad for Erika. Erika was one of my favorite housewives to watch. When she came on, she was very beautiful. She still is. She's a beautiful woman. She had the fashions, the style, the je ne sais quoi. And the makeup, to me, I was like, oh my God. And I was hoping that she would like take that lane that Eileen had, I can't remember her last name, but the lady that was from the soap operas, that she would take that lane and get on one of the soaps, because I knew Erika needed her own money for real. And the way that man treated her, sometimes on the show, he was very autocratic. He would tell, basically, like in so many words, tell Erika to be quiet, shut up, and she would. And it's like, oh my God, for that man to now be in a position where they might lose it all. Like, he couldn't even pay these people back. And I knew when people were suing him about some personal loan he took out, it's like, why are you taking out a loan? You're supposed to be rich. You're supposed to be this, top attorney that made all this money and he was buying like Matisse art. I remember some type of art he bought, oil painting he bought that was very expensive, like in the millions. And, that was all smoke and mirrors. And it's like so Portia, look at this. Get that money, set it aside, make sure they buy you something outright that's yours, so when everything goes pear-shaped, you're not renting a house. You'll be like Sutton, actually having the house, the marital home, being able to sell it at a profit, buy a lesser house and rehab that. So anyway, Beverly Hills is doing very good this year, this season. I hope they bring back all the ladies for next season. And thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.